Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Hangout with ST. She's Alyssa.
And he's Hairianto, and Hangout with ST is a weekly show where we bring you top stories of the week.
That's right, anything that is local to everything that's happening
Around the world.
And this is episode 73.
Very nice. Nice
Very
number.
nice.
Very nice
Exactly,
number.
exactly.
And as always, we are coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. So do leave your comments and we'll read it later during the show.
Yeah, and we have our very own email and Instagram as well. So if you want to get in touch with us personally, you can do so. Follow us on Instagram, that is Hangout with ST.
And Yan has been very faithful and committed with following up with any emails that come through.
Yes, so Alex, I've been replying your emails. Alex, if you are watching, tell us, let us know as well that you're watching. Because he said that he's going to watch this week.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
Shout out to Alex.
So this week we'll be discussing two things. One is we're going to be talking about the politics of race and color in movies. So basically how Hollywood movies have evolved, right, to include
Being more diverse and all.
minority representations now.
And the second topic that we're going to talk about this week is preparing for the Silver Age. The Silver Age.
Exactly, and we are going to have a guest as well to come on to tell us more. So for those of you watching at home, be it whether you feel like you belong to the Silver Age, maybe you don't, right? Or if you are children of parents who are in Silver Age, I think this is for you.
Yeah,
right?
and actually for me and you as well.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
If you are preparing for that Silver
Preparing
Age
for the
as well.
future.
Preparing for the future, yeah. And then we'll end things off with Facebook Face Off.
Of which I won last week, therefore breaking your streak.
Exactly, but we're tied now,
We're tied.
right?
So 5-5.
5-5.
It's 5-5.
So
we
both of
start
us,
again at 0.
yeah. So both of us hold on to the record, is it?
We've tied. We've tied.
Okay, let's say hi to people. There we go.
Okay.
We have Clive Chua. Hi, Grayson Chu. Hello.
Hey, hi. So I think Grayson Chu is a new name, which I haven't seen before.
Is a new name? What do you mean?
I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah, I've never seen Grayson Chu before. Yeah, you're a new name. You're right.
Weirdly enough, the comments just disappear from my phone.
Oh,
And then
okay,
it
good.
appears.
Comes back.
Yep.
Jam Wong. Hello, both. This is Jam Wong. Yes, we
Hi,
know Jam
hi,
Wong.
Jam Wong.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, my mom finally says hello.
Yeah, and she says hello, guy.
What's hello, guy, mom?
She's only saying hi to you. That's
No
what she
lah, I
means.
think it's a typo.
Auntie.
Last week, right?
Yeah.
You called her out for, or one of the weeks that you called her
I didn't
out.
call her out loud. I was
You
teasing
did,
her. I
you
was
did.
teasing her.
And you know what? When I got home,
Yeah.
she was like, oh no, Alyssa called me out for, voting for you. Is it very obvious? I'm like,
Yes.
no, mom, it's okay. So you made her feel very uncomfortable,
Oh
you know?
dear, sorry auntie, sorry. I was just teasing you.
Diki Karina says, hi, Ian here, churning in now, Instagram, #FaceApp.
Yeah, we tried it. We tried the face app. Has anyone tried the face app where you either age yourself or you make yourself look very young?
Yeah, we got, because our colleague Sam Jo, right, downloaded
Yeah.
the app.
I have to say I look terrible. I look terrible. But you look
Okay
alright.
lah.
You look even more like you look even more Eurasian, in fact.
So are you saying that I'll look better when I'm older? Now I don't look so good.
I think you look good now. You look even gooder. You will look even gooder, okay?
Okay,
You're
fine.
just fishing for it, right?
Amesh Kumar says hi and Kai Gui says hi guys.
Hi, guys.
Continue to just say hello to us and of course partake in the conversation and let all your friends and family members know that we are online.
That's right. Okay, so lately, if you've been following movies or you've been reading the newspaper,
Yeah.
you'll notice that there's been a lot of black female actresses in roles that were not originally written for black actors.
Exactly. So for example, in the recent Little Mermaid, right, that they're going to make a movie out of, Hailey Bailey, which should not be confused with Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry,
Halle
yeah.
Berry. But it's so similar, the names, I tell you.
She's going to be playing Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
And most recently, it was reported that actress Lashana Lynch will be Agent 007 in the next James Bond movie.
Yeah. Do you remember who Lashana Lynch is?
I don't even know,
Do you watch Captain Marvel?
because I did not.
Okay, she was in Captain Marvel,
There you go.
right? So tell us, right, for those of you who are watching us at home right now, do you think it's a good step, right, that we are seeing more representations like that?
Yeah.
Right.
So in this case, in the two examples we just mentioned, they're a bit different. Okay, so for the Little Mermaid, people were pretty receptive to it.
Yeah.
right? They're like, okay, great, you know, a black Ariel, that's awesome.
Yeah.
For 007, I think the comments on the bite-sized news video that's on YouTube by our colleague Sam Jo, which he did about on this 007 one, there were a lot of sexist comments, a lot of negative comments, and they were saying that, you know, I can't imagine a woman playing James Bond or a woman being a 007 agent, which one of our colleagues also did say. But I will not name. I will not name that colleague's name.
But
I disagree.
But you see, I guess because it's nostalgia, you grow up watching James Bond as this dude, right?
Yeah.
A white dude, right?
In a
But of
suit,
course, they were very careful to say that it is a 007 agent.
Yes.
And not James Bond.
Yes, because James Bond is tied to the character's name.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense. For example, it's like if someone were to come in and say, oh, this is the next Hairianto Diman, as opposed to this is the next host of Hangout.
Right.
Right? So
But
that's
it's
a
not new
distinction.
also. This, I mean, of course, there's been black actresses in mainstream media quite recently. Of course, MIB has Tessa Thompson, who has Afro-Panamanian, oh my goodness!
Okay,
You know, this is my
Panamanian
fear.
blood.
This is my fear when we go live.
No problem. Panamanium.
Oh boy.
Okay, this
Okay.
pandemonium. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So, then there is also the London stage play of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in London, where there is a black Hermione Granger. So the Hermione Granger that we are very used to is played by Emma Watson in the movies, whereas for this play she's grown up and she is now black.
Exactly, right? We're seeing much more non-white representation in Hollywood cinema. Of course, not all these examples are exactly the same. So, some are based on fictional characters and they're not based on real people. So, for example, Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
Right?
mermaids are not real.
And there is a certain degree of artistic license as well deployed here. Some people view it as tokenism, while others welcome the move to have more racial diversity.
Yes, and I think recently we were watching this video, so the Daily Show, Trevor Noah, he unpacked it all, and it's how these roles, they can't be acted by other people, right? If it's historical, if there's cultural context, they can't. But if it's not like Little Mermaid, then it's fair game, isn't it?
Exactly.
So,
right?
but it shouldn't be labeled as tokenism.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you see, while tokenism is, you know, good and all that, then there is the whole argument whether are we being too PC, too politically correct?
Yeah, in
because
this day and
every
age.
little thing also must give voice, must give agency.
Representation.
Representation and all that, you know?
Yeah.
Is it
Which-
necessary?
I can agree. Okay, so I understand that in Singapore, being like a Chinese, I understand that it's like we're like the white privilege, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right, we're the majority. So, speaking from a majority point of view, I guess I can see for minorities, every opportunity at representation matters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course, definitely. Some well-known movie characters, when replaced with actors whose color and skin differs from the original, also can give some kind of nuance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, for
like
example,
Will Smith. Will Smith in Aladdin, so he's a bit more like more cool, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously different from the animated version where it was voiced by Robin Williams.
Exactly. You can see right there the little trailer that we've got. So it's kind of good, I suppose, right? In that sense.
Yeah. So maybe Hailey, right? Hailey Bailey's version of Ariel. Maybe she'll be a bit more R&B because she is an R&B singer. So maybe she will have a little.
Possibly.
she
But at the end
sings
of the
a
day,
song.
also, of course, the question. This begs the question, right?
Yeah.
About boundaries. How far do we want to push the boundaries to do this swap?
And even in that, there's a lot to unpack. So,
Yeah.
for example, some people say that, oh, this is not my Ariel. This is not the Ariel that I grew up with.
Yeah.
So
correct.
there is
It's
that.
a sense of
Because-
nostalgia again.
Yes,
that's it, right?
yes, which you said. And then the other one, I suppose, is I think we covered it, like historical, cultural context.
Historical culture. So, for example, the example that
Mulan.
we give would be Mulan.
Yeah.
Right. We know that it happens in East Asia.
Yes.
Right. And that it has to do with monarchy. It has to do about family name, family values. You know.
Good Chinese
Good
girl,
Chinese
get
girl.
married, stay at home.
Yeah, kind of thing, right? I'm not saying that it does not happen in other Asian contexts as well, but this is really quite specific to the to the East Asians.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you can't get Scarlett Johansson to play Mulan.
Exactly, exactly, right?
You know?
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that said also, Memoirs of Geisha, remember?
Yes.
That?
So they were all Asians. Yes, because it's set in Japan, right? But the three main geishas, they were played by all Chinese women: Zhang Ziyi, Gong Li, and Michelle Yeoh.
So is that okay?
Okay. Most recent example is Crazy Rich Asians.
Yep.
Already a lot of people were making noise that Henry Golding, he's not Singaporean, but he's playing a Singaporean character.
But I guess at the end of the day, you see, we need to know to kind of separate the actor's identity and the role that they're playing. At the end of the day, they are also actors, correct?
That's true.
So, as long as they fit the JD, right, job description, right? So in the case of the Memoirs of Geisha, no doubt Zhang Ziyi is Chinese and not Japanese, right? But belonging to East Asian, again, then there's that run of not all Asians are the same.
Yeah,
you see?
yeah.
But I guess you see, if you were to look past beyond the fact that Zhang Ziyi is Chinese, she's just an actor. Okay, she fits a fair-skinned lady who has these attributes, these characteristics. She can have the Japanese accent.
Then so be it, it's fine,
Then so be
right?
it, right?
Yeah, which is exactly what the director said of Halle Bailey when basically they defended their decision of casting her as Ariel, the Little Mermaid.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
And I think, let's see, we have a comment here. Jordan McDermott says, we have to persevere through an era of resistance to caste diversification so that one day soon it will be considered normal.
And then he comments again later, you say that true, Halle Bailey is not the Ariel that one generation grew up with.
Yep.
The comments honestly just disappear. I have nothing here.
She is the Ariel that the next generation will grow up with. True, right?
Yeah.
And that is okay, like we said, right? And that is okay simply because, mermaids are fictional characters, right?
And humans are, I mean, you're getting a human to play a mermaid, which doesn't even exist. So
Exactly, right? So,
it's fine.
I mean, But let us know still, right? Whether are you okay with having a different kind of mermaid that you grew up with? Having a Little Mermaid or Ariel that you grew up with, right?
Yeah, true.
Is Ariel really a white? It's not also, right? I mean,
No, I think because the author who wrote it, he's Danish. And then of course, I mean, if I were to write a story about, if it's set in my home country, you would naturally assume it's a Singaporean, different cultures and all that. You wouldn't suddenly expect like something else. Sorry,
But
I
whatever
just
it is,
can't think on the spot.
I think at the end of the day, we have progressed quite a bit in movies, right? More to be done, of course. We see more representation. I mean, back then, think about it. Back then, we had quite offensive and racist depictions of minority characters, right? So we see the Japanese landlord, Mr. Inoishi, in the American classic Breakfast at Tiffany's. It was played by an American actor, Mickey Rooney, who had his eyes tipped to look smaller. And as you can see here, it's also to kind of highlight, just because he has small eyes and he's bumping into things he can't see.
And he wore fake teeth to have that.
Yeah, I don't understand that buck teeth thing. Asians have buck teeth, man?
It's just like a caricature.
A caricature?
Yes, thanks.
Right. Caricature, yeah.
We cover,
What is wrong with us
we cover
today?
for each other.
Yeah.
So it's braces, because I wore braces, and then after
Okay.
that, my pronunciation just,
wow, okay,
went
so the
downhill.
braces then.
It's the braces.
Yeah, so that, right? But whatever it is, like we said, kudos. I think now we've got more minority representation, and the discourse, the narrative is still ongoing. People are still discussing, but at the end of the day, really, we shouldn't be afraid to have all these representations, right?
Yeah, true.
All right, let's see. What have people said? So far, people are just saying hello. We have Shiril Sudin that tagged somebody and put thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Wow, okay.
Cool.
There we go.
Nice.
Now, moving on to our second segment, the first dementia care village is set to be built to care for dementia patients and improve their quality of life.
Now, a site in
Gibraltar Crescent in Sembawang has been put up for sale by public tender for the village. Now, why should we care about this?
Yeah, why? Because we are all looking at our collective silver future. It's not just about people who are old now, it's about people who will be old in the future, which is all of us.
Yeah.
And more immediately, our parents and relatives. And Singapore, as we all know, has an increasingly aging population.
Exactly. And if you're wondering, what is dementia? So yesterday's episode on The Big Story, we had our correspondent, Joyce Teo, to talk about what dementia is all about. So have a look.
It is not a disease, it's actually a general term that's used to describe a set of symptoms associated with a cognitive decline that's caused by different diseases. So the most common is Alzheimer's disease. So the symptoms associated with it would be memory loss, or you may have problems with language, confusion about time and place, there might be mood changes, there might even be personality changes at a later stage. Some people think it's a part of aging, but it's not. So it is a progressive disease, it worsens with time, and then the cognitive decline can be severe enough to affect your daily living. So I've read like one of the example would be, you know, you might, with normal aging, you might forget maybe one of your neighbor's names, right? But you know he's your neighbor. But if you have dementia, right, you forget the person's name and you forget who he is. You don't even know that he's your neighbor. Oh, wow. Yeah. So in the normal aging, you might, you know, forget where you put your keys, where you park your car, and then your family would not be very worried about it, but you may be worried. But with dementia, your family may be worried about your memory because it can be quite serious, right? But you are not aware that you have a problem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting.
How prevalent would you say is dementia in Singapore?
In Singapore, an estimated 1 in 10 people aged 60 and above has dementia, wow. And then the proportion goes up to 1 in 2 for those aged 85 and above. And then, you know, the population here is aging, right? So it's estimated that by 2030, we will have, there'll be 103,000 people who have dementia.
So there you go. That was Joy's tale. If you want to see the full segment, you can log on to straitstimes.com.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, to continue our discussion right here, we have a guest, right, from Aging Asia. Can we give a round of applause to Miss Sylvain, the General Manager of Aging Asia. Hello, Sylvain. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. No, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Now, if you're wondering what Aging Asia is all about, it's the first aging market consultancy social enterprise in Singapore with the mission to change the future of aging in Asia Pacific.
Exactly. So, Sylvie, would you like to maybe elaborate on what Aging Asia does?
Okay. We basically have a network of aging businesses of around 1,700 members across Asia Pacific. So what we do for them is basically we help them access aging market through a series of activities and services such as market intelligence, training program to help them to scale up and you know, look at new market, new innovations out there, as well as helping them get access to the market through strategic partnerships.
I see.
And of course, you've seen the proposal to have a dementia village. You know, based on your line of work and all that, what are your thoughts on this?
Very exciting. I think we've been waiting for this, and very timely as well. As Singapore is moving into a super aged society very soon, we are also expecting, I think, 100,000 people estimated by EDA to have dementia. So I think this village will be of a necessity. So we're really, really excited about it.
Right. Now, for those of you who are watching us at home, let us know, right? What do you think of this dementia village? You know, are you for it? Are you against it? You know, or
any concerns?
Yeah, any
maybe?
concerns maybe. And what do you hope to actually see in this dementia village? And so the thing is, dementia village is not new. Right, it is a concept that has been around. So in one particular instance, we have one in Amsterdam. Okay, forgive me if I am mispronouncing this. De Hoogweg in Amsterdam.
You did very well.
Yeah, oh, it is right. Yeah.
Probably did better than me.
Patients are encouraged to shop for that. So basically, they have a supermarket in there. It's self-sufficient. It's like a whole neighborhood. Have you been there?
Yeah, the team has been there quite a number of times. In fact, it's one of the places that we were very inspired. And we brought the founder and the CEO to Singapore to share the concept as well back in 2015. So yeah, it's very inspiring because they believe that dementia is not just a medical concern. So it's actually a lot of psychosocial aspect of dementia, and that it shouldn't just be handled through medication. So a lot of social considerations are put into that village. It is done in such a way to make the person with dementia feel right at home, whatever home may look like to them. So, you know, you may be someone with Indonesian descent in Netherlands, that's very common, and then you will be put in a place, in a small home where you feel very comfortable with the design, with the environment. And then you are free to roam around, and again, everyone within the village that run the supermarkets they know how to handle and how to you know, work with a person with dementia, so they perfectly feel very safe and very at home.
Wow, so
as
it's
a
like
result.
a safety bubble of sorts, lah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a safe space. It's a safe
it's a
space
safe
to grow.
space,
Yeah.
and they can be normal and be themselves and continue living a normal lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So you were saying that in Singapore, people viewed aging or retirement villages or dementia, getting older, differently than how other people do. Could you elaborate on that, please?
In terms of,
It's a very medical thing, very institutionalized,
clinical, right?
clinical,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that is changing. I think with this new move of the government releasing this tender looking into dementia village, I think definitely we are looking at more variety and options as people grow older. Yeah. So, and also I think we must also realize that in terms of there's a trend in aging now that is not, there's actually two generations that is aging concurrently.
Yeah.
So there's the baby boomers, those people that are born post-war, World War II, up to 1964, and their older parents as well.
And of course, you know, this is just but one piece to the puzzle. There is more to do as we prepare ourselves for an aging population. It's about aging with dignity, prepare for retirement, and in fact, there is the call for to set up a ministry for aging as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And according to a recent survey, recent report, in fact, by OCBC, more than 70% of respondents were not on track with their retirement plans. They found that, you know, 1/3 working adults here do not invest or find ways to grow money. So, you know, Sylvain, if you can share with us, retirement plans, you know, or retirement villages, are they good here in Singapore to have such a plan? Because we do have one, which is Kampung at Admiralty.
That's right. I think retirement villages increasingly with people growing, the baby boomers especially are growing older. They are a lot more sophisticated. They travel. They've seen, some of them has traveled overseas and look at different models of retirement villages or options overseas as well. And some of them, in fact, I think recently in the news there were ladies, I think it was in China, that wanted to build their dream retirement village together, right? So I think that those thinkings are coming in, and they definitely wanted more options out there, and retirement village will be one that people are looking for as well. That will allow them as well to be still part of their community that they are familiar with and they live in, and at the same time are getting enough, they're getting support to be able to, I guess, grow old with assistance, and yet to still be able to, you know, achieve the aspirations that they have as they grow older in a supported environment.
And you mentioned to us earlier on, last week you were at Helsinki.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that trip.
So our team traveled extensively the last 10 years, ever since Aging Asia has been around, to look at models as well as study and bring them and share them within our network and in Asia Pacific. So last week, I'm in Helsinki. I have another team that is in the UK looking into dementia models and intergenerational models. It was really eye-opener because there's one senior living that I visited in downtown Helsinki, which again started with the same story. 4 ladies in their late 40s, and they wanted an alternative to, I guess, their old age than nursing homes. So they band up together, they talked to the government, and they funded and built and designed their own ideal retirement village, where it's very community-based. You know, everyone kind of come together. They have clusters of groups that help with the house chores. They manage their own funds. You know, so it's really interesting and very lively, and it's very supportive of activities and lifestyle that they wanted to have.
Maybe let's talk about another country. Maybe Japan, for example. How is it like there? What's their retirement village model like? And is there anything that Singapore can
emulate?
Emulate, follow.
Japan, although is very Asian, obviously culturally, and there's this perceptions of the Asian culture, where families take care of themselves. But in actual fact, in Japan, many of the seniors live by themselves because their children, they come from a small family to begin with, and the children typically are working in a big city. So they are accustomed to, be independent and take care of themselves and start thinking about their own retirement plan. That coupled with obviously government policies, funding models that the government have in place, long-term care insurance policies, for example, has made Japan very vibrant in terms of retirement lifestyles or product offerings. So you can see, from vertical CCRC model, which is basically a large-scale retirement communities, down to a very small house model. Community-based integrated care for dementia, for example, is trending right now in Japan. We're actually heading there in September to check it out again. So yeah, it's very interesting to grow old in Japan because you have a lot of options. As to what we can emulate in Singapore, I think Singapore will probably want something that is uniquely Singapore. From obviously food. I don't think you want to be in a retirement village that don't serve you nasi lemak or laksa.
Yep, definitely. Or nasi padang.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. Yeah, so it has to be something that is uniquely Singapore in terms of flavor, culture, activities, program, and obviously the built environment as well. It will look quite different.
So, sorry, because earlier you mentioned that in Japan there's quite a few different models. So there's like for independent smaller clusters to a bigger institution. Do you think Singapore can do something like that? Because right now it seems like it's just another village and then another village. Do you think we can move towards a decentralized sort of system?
I think the recent tender that was released is a very, very good example of how we are starting to move into variety and options as care needs changes or differ from individual to individual, as well as aspirations as well as you grow older. And so we expect to see a lot more new aged care model that will be considered in Singapore as well, be it for dementia or for other concern or other aspect of aging.
We have some comments right here from people just writing in. Of course, we do have one from JM Wong, says that I've worked in Apex Harmony Lodge in Pasir Ris for a short term. This is the home for dementia. I feel depressed for the elderly. I think it's the state that they're in,
Right. Why do you feel depressed, JM Wong?
And JM Wong also says that human beings need human interaction. I feel this is to avoid dementia. So having a dementia care village would help that, because there is the interaction with other patients, and also if let's say there are supermarkets, then they can have that daily human-to-human interaction that is quite close to what they would have in a normal setting as well.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So I do have a question. So when nasi padang aside, what would your ideal retirement village, like home look like?
So we did a count recently. I think we've visited, as a team obviously, we visited about 350 facilities around the world. And I think, there's a whole lot of variety of models out there, and the perspective of how care can be delivered varies country to countries as well. But always what inspires me when I leave the place is when I see the people, the older adults that live there are happy. And they are doing things that they enjoy. They enjoy their quality of life in that place that they are in, and as well as the care staff. I think that's to me, it means that this place is really achieving what they are doing. But I think personally, I think my ideal retirement village will probably be something that is person-centric. So putting the person in the center of the whole thing, and at the same time enabling. So instead of doing things for the individual or for me, I want to be part of doing something and contributing as well, and or being in the environment where I'm supported to be able to do things for myself.
So that is what an ideal retirement
to me at least,
like Sylvan right there. Of course, the whole dementia care village plans, they are still in its nascent stages. They've just put up the tender. Whether suggestions to what it looks like and all that, we still don't know, right? The details of it. Of course, just talking about having spaces and all that, I think the other issue that we need to be that we need to, I suppose, take care of here in Singapore is, of course, land constraints, right? Of course, when we talk about overseas, they have land where, you know, they can have all these big villages, right? Or big centers. But for Singapore, maybe, you know, we need something that is also economical in terms of land as well. And just last year in Parliament, they did suggest that why not convert schools which have already been vacated because of the merger and all that, turn these schools into these villages or these care centers.
Yeah, even for URA, they have the master plan where they want to make have the CBD be like a multi-use space, right? So you can incorporate not just cafes or shops again.
Yeah,
why not have some, you know, retirement kind of housing there?
Yeah,
right?
because at the end of the day, I mean, Singapore, we are facing an aging population, right? And this is there is no better way than to prepare for the Silver Age, right? Once again, thank you, Sylwin, so much for staying on to the show. Yeah, and sharing a bit more about what Aging Asia does. Now, of course, if you want to know more about Aging Asia, is there a Facebook, Instagram? Where can we go to?
Aging Asia.
On Facebook.
On Facebook and Instagram.
Right. There we have it. Aging Asia. That is AGEING. And then Asia, ASIA. Thank you again, Sylwin. But of course, we want you to stay on because we have a little surprise.
Okay.
Don't worry, don't worry.
It's really a surprise. She has no idea this is
Yeah, she doesn't know this is happening. Now, for those of you, of course, watching us at home, we are ending things off with Facebook Face Off. Okay, so you need to explain to Sylwin what is Facebook Face Off.
Sylwin and to our viewers who are not very sure what we're going to do now. Okay, so what happens is that we get the Dana's comments on Straight Styles Facebook page.
Okay.
Right? So every week, Yan and I, we go through them and we pick 3 of what we think are like the funniest or the best. And then we'll compete head to head.
Okay.
So out of 3 rounds, we'll see who wins the most.
Yeah.
The viewers will vote.
Okay.
You can vote as well.
You can vote
I
as
see.
well. Yeah, correct.
So no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, if you feel that they're not witty, they're not funny, you're not obliged to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're right now back, our counter is back to 0-0. Alyssa, before this, she held the world record of 5 weeks straight
in a row.
Wow.
Of win.
Yeah.
And then last week,
a miracle.
I did 5 weeks as well. So last week, I was hoping to get
Is
this.
it a conspiracy?
I think so, you know. I think our viewers, they've got a good sense of humor themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't manage to get my 6 weeks. She cut my streak. So we are back to 0-0. So both of us now hold the
So that's why it's
title.
0-0.
We're tied.
Yeah, we're tied. Okay, so with that, for those of you who are watching us at home, if you think that Alyssa's comment is funnier, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funny, type in H.
Okay, Ellie, you go first.
Okay, I go first. All right. So this story you can see on the screen, it's a forum letter and it says, oh, you know, maybe minors should seek parental consent before getting their tattoos, before getting a tattoo. And Victor Ong was like, yes, my friend Kevin, he has tattoos as a juvenile, now he's with the Yakuza. Actually, I thought it was funny when I read it, but I can't read, it's actually not that funny.
Okay, my comment. So basically, this is about Orchard Towers, right?
Oh, you didn't even give it time to sink in, you just went to yours.
Okay. Once a family-oriented mall, Orchard Towers is now notorious for vice activities. ST takes a look at what happens in the complex when night falls, right? So from family mall to sleaze and brawls. Actually, Orchard Towers, that was the place that we had dinner, right? The Japanese food. Oh, we can't say that. We can't say. Okay.
Don't let people know about Orchard Towers.
Okay. Then Laurie Talk says, family-oriented, building family outside of your family? I mean, when has it ever been family-oriented, right? Okay, never mind. If you think that Alyssa's comment is funny, you type in A.
If you think Hairianto is funny, type in H.
Okay.
I feel like we are not funny tonight. Yeah, okay, round 2.
Okay, round two. So basically, 300 cleaning robots to roll out by March 2020. Not only can they keep everything tidy, but the autonomous robots can also sing, rap, and speak Singlish.
Really?
Yeah.
You can actually rap.
Exactly. No, speak Singlish. Hello. Rap is okay lah. Speak Singlish leh.
Oh, I thought you mean
Alright.
rap in Singlish.
So Daniel Tan says, if you block their way, would they say "siama" instead of "excuse me"?
Food for thought. There you go, food for thought. Okay.
Okay, you go.
Okay, this other story is, well guys, expect more rain and thundery showers in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay? And Yong Sen says, well, if it doesn't rain, can we call this fake news? Because it's a serious thing. Is it going to rain or not? I mean...
If you think that Alyssa's comment is funny, you type in A.
You think Hairianto is funny, type in H.
Okay, there we go. Ellie, you go, third round.
Okay, so this is the final round.
We're not very
Yeah,
good.
not, like,
Okay.
like, she's not laughing at all.
Yeah,
it's alright though, no
No,
pressure.
I'm just wondering. I may know that guy just now.
Okay, the guy who commented. Okay,
boy,
sure.
okay.
Okay, so the last story I chose is Song Hye Kyo. She has not let her divorce affect her career, but she's been slammed for having a good time at ritzy events.
Okay.
Okay? Events, yeah, that's what I said, right? Okay, so Nick Chan says song song, but some people buay song. She's song, then let her song ah. You all want to buay song, she's song ah. You get it, right?
Because of her name?
Yes. You get it, right?
I do. You know, funny, right? Because you chose this comment, it's about the name, right?
So,
My
then you
comment
put
that I
so.
chose for round 3 also has to do with name.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so, okay, mine is this. So, El Chapo's life sentence. Okay, so basically, Mexican drug lord El Chapo sentenced to life behind bars, right? Finally, right? El Chapo's life sentence puts an end to one of history's most notorious criminal careers.
That's good.
Ian Benjamin Olsen says, "What did El Chapo say to the Terminator? I'll be back."
Get it.
So if you think Alyssa's comment is funnier, you type in A.
I think you should just vote for Hairianto. Just like, yeah, that's very good.
Okay, we'll let you guys deliberate for a while. We got some comments here. Ratri says hello. Percy Pan says, "Wow, not bad. When is it expected to be completed?"
The village, right?
Oh, Percy Pan says, "Wow, so when you have a compliment." She says, "This lady cannot represent aging Asia lah. She doesn't look a day over 25. Wow.
I'll take that.
She'll take that. Okay, but we have to put you on the spot though, Sylvain. So you've heard all 3 of our jokes. Who is your vote? Who do you think is funnier in general, in totality?
Okay. I like the third round best, but I'm sorry, I'm Hokkien, so I I completely got it.
Okay, so Ellie got it. Ellie
I
got it.
but-
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that I
Sorry.
win this round. Honestly,
Yeah,
but thank
correct.
you so much.
It
Alice.
still
Like,
depends on our viewers.
you know, I seem to be the guest favorite usually. Usually I get majority
Yeah,
is from the
usually.
guest, but then from the interwebs, you are more popular.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, usually that's the case. I don't know why.
I'll go to my Facebook and put it.
All right, we are going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the winner is.
Yeah, see, there you go. It was really good. I'll be back.
Yeah, and we'll be back. My goodness. Okay, so this is
Good one.
1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-0. We should have a
1-0.
counter here. Okay, next week we'll have a counter.
Yeah, we'll have a
here.
counter there. Now that is all we have for you for Hangout with ST this week. For more news and videos, do log on to straitstimes.com.
We're also on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yeah, and we also have our very own email and Instagram as well. So follow us on Instagram, that is Hangout with ST, to just, watch. I mean, sometimes we do Insta stories and all that. Yeah, just, we share with you a bit of our life as well. What we do, what we eat, what we talk about, our jokes. Yeah, so just follow us lah. But more importantly, slide in our DMs.
Yes.
Yeah, to talk to us.
Slide into our
I
DMs.
will reply you. And of course, thank you so much again, Sylvain, for coming
you
on
for
the
having
show.
me.
We really appreciate it. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on to our show. So once again, next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Thursday, Hangout with ST. Share some Facebook page. Once again, she is Alyssa.
And this is Hairianto.
Goodbye and see you next week.